Imagine sitting on a massive, unbridled horse. A twig snaps. The animal panics, rears up, and bolts into a blind stampede. You are thrown forward, clinging to the mane for dear life, while branches batter your body. A bystander sees you blur past and shouts, "Where are you going?" You scream back, "I don't know, ask the horse." This ancient metaphor captures the reality of uncontrolled emotional reactivity. In clinical psychology, you are viewed as a dual system. You are the conscious observer, the rider, and you are the primitive emotional brain, the horse. Many people live in a state of confusion called samsara. They don't just feel anger or panic. They identify with it completely. They truly believe they are the horse. Because of this illusion, the rider gives up. They allow an untamed beast to drag them through life, destroying relationships and careers under the conviction that they have no control over the ride. The horse is your amygdala. This is the brain's ancient survival engine and automated threat detector, designed to initiate a fight or flight response the moment it senses danger. The rider is your prefrontal cortex. This is the advanced, logical center of the brain, the part of you capable of philosophy and long-term planning. When you read a devastating text message or someone cuts you off in traffic, the twig snaps. In a fraction of a millisecond, the amygdala floods your system with cortisol and adrenaline. This triggers an amygdala hijack. The physical connection between your logical and emotional centers is severed. Your prefrontal cortex goes completely offline. This is the stampede. Without the logical brain to guide it, the horse runs blind. You lash out or send that destructive text message because the rider is no longer in the saddle. This isn't a person acting with intent. It is a biological hostage situation where the predative brain has seized total control. Even after the initial biological shock fades, we often continue to let the horse run. The human ego convinces us that an unhinged emotional reaction is a display of power. We mistake the chaos of a scream or a grudge for the establishment of self-respect. In reality, reactivity is a profound vulnerability. It means anyone in the external world can dictate your internal state. If a stranger's insult can ruin your entire day, they hold your reins. You have effectively handed them the power to steer your life. An untamed mind is a slave to its environment. When we react without thinking, we prove that our emotions are governed by whatever happens to trigger them. Taming this beast requires a specific strategy. You cannot punch a wild horse into submission, and you cannot reason with it while it is at a full gallop. Psychiatrist Viktor Frankl, who survived the Holocaust, realized that between every stimulus and response, there is a space. He believed our power to choose our response lies entirely within that gap. This space serves as the reins. It is the only window where we can actually exert influence over our biology. When the horse tries to bolt, the master of the mind acknowledges the heat of the anger, but deliberately pauses. You force a 3-second delay before saying a single word. Those 3 seconds provide the prefrontal cortex with the time it needs to boot back up. The rider picks up the reins, acknowledges the horse's fear, and decides not to run. Consistent mastery over this pause leads to a state known as nirvan. This involves channeling raw emotional energy, even anger, into disciplined ambition and art, rather than letting it dissipate in a blind stampede. Governance of the self means sitting in the saddle and feeling the immense power of the beast beneath you, while knowing with certainty that you dictate where the journey goes.